I miss the bad audio now. Bring it back.
You like the bad audio,
Let's
dude?
get the bad audio back.
Didn't know how much I liked it until I heard the good audio.
No.
I liked it better when I could imagine that it would be better.
It'd be better. I liked having that optimism.
Oh, man.
Live from the studio.
Quick transition. 1 second.
Rick Glazer
I'm Jimmy Selesky.
and yeah, we're just two boys having fun with some mics in a garage.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show. If you just tuned in, this is not the George Lopez show. Unfortunately,
We know you heard the George signal, those horns.
do they still have Nick at Night? Is that still a thing?
No, oh, they might. I don't know. I know, like, anytime I've gone on Nick recently, since I've gotten cable again, they have like a 90s slot. So they'll play like at late night, they'll play like Hey Arnold or All That and shit.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I forget like the programming thing that it's called. It's like Nick Rewind, maybe.
Yeah. We were
But
watching
Nick Jr. has a late night version of it. That's
Nick
called
Jr.
Nick
at
Mom.
Nick Mom.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
What
dude.
the hell is on that channel,
Just
dude?
programming for moms, which you never knew was needed.
I didn't know that. I thought Nick Jr. was programming for moms, dude.
Well, it's kind of programming for the juniors of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
But hey, who's watching them the most?
I'd say
Moms.
I watched-
And moms need some entertainment too once they go to
Moms
bed.
need Nick too. I was watching.
And Nick 2's already
fucking-
full of other cartoons. So.
Yeah, but I don't think any of the new shows. I mean, it's always weird because I don't know if it's just us being older, but we turned on All That and they had
They have like a new All That, right?
yeah, and it's so cringe.
Yeah, it looks really shitty.
Actually, it wasn't that like. I was in a room with Alex and a couple.
Listen, I was cracking up, but I couldn't do it out loud. No one else was.
Exactly. I was in the room and like an old episode of All That came on and we were like dying laughing. And then
Yeah.
a new episode of All That came on and I was still kind of digging it. And then everybody else was like, this fucking sucks. And I was like, yeah, this sucks, dude. Get this new All That out of here. Still my favorite sketch comedy show of all time, dude.
Dude, it was good. It was definitely ahead of its time.
But I tell you what did hold up is right after that, an episode of Drake and Josh came on.
Drake and Josh is good, dude.
Dude, we were legitimately rolling. Like, legitimately rolling laughing.
Yeah, Drake
Like,
and Josh is on Hulu. I was
Yeah.
popping through them a couple weeks ago.
They did like they did the perfect show thing, which is they just did it for like 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do it long enough to get bad. They just stayed right in the mid zone. And then I don't know what happened to really either of them.
Well, Josh got like skinny near the end, right? And then he started going off to do like movie shit. Because before Drake and Josh, so me and Elizabeth found this the other week. It's kind of funny to look it up. Honestly, maybe even just look it up now and we'll play a little on the podcast.
Yep.
But it's Josh Peck as a kid doing stand up for like some like Roseanne Barr comedy competition on HBO or something. But it's just like little fat Josh Peck in a little suit. I think Jimmy got it.
Welcome, Josh Peck.
Rosie O'Donnell, by the
Rosie
way.
O'Donnell, yeah.
Notably worse than Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, how you
Less
doing?
political than Roseanne Barr.
Good. You know, when I got the call from the Rosie show, honestly, I was a little nervous. You know how you older people out there, when you're nervous, you binge, you booze. Me, I go to my favorite ice cream parlor, ask for a 3-scoop sundae, whipped cream, hot fudge, and nuts. But I say, hold the cherry, I'm trying to cut back.
Ooh, classic.
Classic fat kid joke.
That kid.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the son of a single parent. I was born during the Great Depression. My mother's...
That was deep. That was deep.
Some one-liners, dude. I'm guessing his mom
And
kind of
if
helped
you
him
knew
write
my
some
mom,
of
you
these.
never know she never had a lot of patience for anything. Like when she was 9 months pregnant with me, she never had time for the omas, she just wanted to have me. So one day she's eating at her favorite restaurant, eating a what's so-called big meal. And she starts choking on a
big
chicken
meal.
bone. So the guy from the other table comes over and does the Heimlich maneuver on my mom. Next thing you know, I come flying out with the chicken bone. That was my first bungee jump. Well, 10 years later, my mom's going through the what's so
10 years later, I finally
Death
crawled out of
years
that
for
dusty
life.
womb of hers.
The woo changes. Open the window, close the window, open the door, close the door. Mom, work with me here. It's like you're pregnant. God knows she doesn't want to relive those years. Thank you.
Really just trashing his mom.
Sit down.
But yeah, Josh Peck, it's kind of odd how like he was kind of like working his way through the industry even back then.
Well,
and then he moved from that to like Nickelodeon shit, all that, Amanda Show.
was he
Drake and
already
Josh.
on Nickelodeon at that time though?
I don't think so. This is like really young Josh
Okay.
Peck. This is it might have the date in the YouTube description.
See, I don't doubt that his mom obviously helped him write that set, because even the kind of, I always wonder, how does a kid become a child actor? And it really just is parents that like
yeah, it's just
force
parents
you
like
into it.
forcing you into doing shit that they wish they did.
Yeah. Like she always wanted to do Rosie O'Donnell stand up
Exactly.
and trash herself during her pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I think recently it was like a big internet topic. This is on the Drake side of this.
Oh yeah, good. I was
So
waiting to get to the Drake side.
Drake Bell. I think he like changed his name to something else. Because he's like very popular in like Spanish speaking countries. So he like
Bell.
yeah, he straight up like Rachel Dolezal himself.
I'm looking it
into-
up right now. Drake Bell, alter ego.
I bet I can find it faster.
No way, dude. I got a Droid S6.
Rebranding himself as a Spanish pop star.
Totally Kyle.
Campana.
Oh, it's Campana?
Yeah, let's see. So, he released a Spanish language song in 2018, or no, in October 2020.
Oh, shit.
Damn, so this is recent. He changed his name to Drake Campana. Campana is incredibly fitting because it translates to bell in English. So he just changed his last name to the Spanish version of
So
his
Drake
last name.
Bell is a reggaeton singer. See, I kind of feel bad for Drake more than I feel bad for Josh. 'Cause I feel like Josh has found some success in acting. Like we were kind of talking
He was
about
like in the Red Dawn remake, I think. He was like in a couple big like Hollywood things. And then also, I think he was like pretty big on Vine, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was really big on Vine, and I think that kind of like helped him stay relevant a
Yeah.
little bit. And then I have so much random knowledge of like Drake and Josh lore. I think there's like
learning.
a big thing about like Drake wasn't invited to Josh's wedding in real life.
I heard about that.
Yeah, something weird happened there.
Damn. I just Drake. See, the thing with Drake is.
Oh, no, it's crazy too. Drake was a child actor as well. He was in this like weird it's like this movie about he has to move to Scotland with his grandfather and his mother. And his grandfather teaches him about ley lines, and then he finds like a dragon, and then people are trying to steal his dragon. It's like a really shitty kids movie.
I think this sounds familiar.
Yeah,
How long
but that
ago
was
was it?
Drake Bell in that. Probably 90s.
So you gotta break out of the kids scene thing, and I feel like Josh. You know who else did it really well besides obviously Kenan Thompson? Kenan Thompson did it the best.
Anyone who successfully navigates from child actor star to singer
Yeah.
or like pop star is like those are the only examples that I can think of that actually succeeded. like, Miley Cyrus from Hannah Montana and all that shit.
Ariana Grande,
Ariana Grande,
Justin Timberlake, but he was a singer already.
Yeah, but he was in like that Disney troupe shit with like Britney Spears and
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse Kids.
Mickey Mouse Club and Kids. I don't know which one.
One of them, dude.
There's a couple. There's like another Disney star that kind of like
Shia
Nick
LaBeouf.
star. I forget who. Shia LaBeouf went from child actor. He was a rapper for a while.
He just went fucking off the wire though, but like in a good way.
I respect it though. Like I think Shia LaBeouf is like, I don't know. I wouldn't put him in that same category, even though I think he had like a viral video a while ago where he like was in the middle of the woods somewhere hiking and doing like a freestyle, and then people were like, "Oh my God, Shia can spit," but then like a day later they're like, he's ripped off someone else's freestyle. He did a lot of that coming up as like after his child acting career. I remember a couple things where like he had like a like graphic novel or something where the artist was like copying artwork from Japanese comics or something, and there's like a weird rocky road with him until he kind of just had he had to disappear for his 20s. Like he was good as a child actor, he was good as like a teen actor with like Even Stevens and Holes and I can't even remember any of the other movies he was in at the time.
Holes is the big one, dude.
Holes was the big one.
One of the 10 books I've read all the way through in my life voluntarily.
Holes.
Great book. Great book.
Stanley Yelnats, dude.
Yeah.
The last name's the same as the first, just check it in reverse.
That's a class. That's like the version of like, you know how like in adult books, like Shutter Island was apparently a book before.
I guess. I don't fucking read. Dude.
You know the movie though?
I know the movie. I watched part of it.
And like at the end of the movie, they find out that Leonardo DiCaprio's character, like the premise of the movie, it's
he was like he might have been on the island the whole time.
Yeah, he might be a crazy guy. He might not be a crazy guy. Actually, I watched it most recently, probably like a couple weeks ago, honestly. And the ending seemed a lot clearer this time around. That like, oh, I think he was just crazy.
Okay.
'Cause I remember when like 5 years ago when I watched it, I was like, dude, is he crazy though? is he crazy? But then I watched it this time. It's like, oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. But like
that was one of my first, not one of my first, but early stand-up jokes where, like I'd hate to find out I've been Shutter Island my whole life. Like I go to my pediatrician at like 27. They're like, you know you're retarded, right? Yeah. Why else would you still be coming here?
You know your last name spelled backwards is Eric, right? What? How did I not notice that?
Where's the treasure?
How did I not notice that? But yeah, in the movie, like his name that he goes by the entire movie, at the end, the psychiatrist pulls up a chart and he's like, Edward, your real name is like something. It's like Andrew Latis, but he thought his name was like Edward something.
Yeah.
And like the way that they switched the word, like it was basically like his name was like an anagram of itself. So if you switched all the letters around, it would be something else. And like the missing person in the ward was an anagram name of his wife that he apparently murdered. And like I feel like if I was reading the book, I would have picked up on that a lot sooner.
Yeah, probably.
Because both of the alternate names are kind of stretched. You know, they're kind of a stretch. You know, they're not like normal names. It's like I've never seen that kind of name. You know, when you watch the movie, you're like, oh shit, it hit me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah,
maybe I'll rewatch that one. I remember it being long though.
It was very long, but it was definitely worth it. It was really, I think it was a Scorsese film. One of his best, I would say. Yeah, that one flipped me out. I watched that like every 3 years on the year.
Is that another DVD you just have on your shelf?
I was on a date one time about 6 years ago, and we went out drinking in Towson or something, or actually not even in Towson. I think I was still working at Seasons at the time, and one of our regulars, his name was Bones. Just Bones.
Yeah. So you're in town, but not uptown.
Yeah, I wasn't uptown. I was in like a neighborhood, and this guy Bones, he was like 40 at the time, and he had a house like a street away from where I lived, which was my parents' house at the time. And he was like real into hockey, and every year he would have this big party after the end of the hockey season or something.
Yeah.
And I took this girl there, like this 40-year-old's party, because we could drink. And I was like, this is cool. So we're sitting there.
I remember Bones.
Yeah, Bones is cool. He was actually a cool guy. I haven't seen him in a while, but he was a cool dude. And so we're drinking there, whiskey. We get real fucked up, and then we are walking back, and I'm like, oh, we should get a movie. And so we go to 7-Eleven. This is before Netflix was really popping.
Well, 7-Eleven used to always have like $5 movies and shit in like paper cases.
And I made the mistake of thinking that they'd be good movies. So I went there to the $5 case, and I picked up a movie that at the time I thought was Shutter Island. And I was like, you never seen this movie before? This movie's fucking awesome. And so we go back to my house, my basement apartment, and we pop it in, and it comes
basement apartment in my parents' house.
We pop it on, and we're watching it, and like 3 minutes in, I'm like, this isn't Leonardo DiCaprio. What the hell is this? And then I go over and I look at the DVD, and it was just a movie called Shudder.
Shudder. Ooh, I think I've heard of that. That's like a horror movie, right?
It was a horror movie, but it like wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't what you thought it was.
It wasn't like it was like you know.
And then she thought you had bad taste in movies.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, no. I meant to get the other. It was like, speaking of all that we were talking about earlier, it was like when they go to Blockbuster and they get the movie from Blockbuster, but it's like a shitty remake of it, and they're just like, it's Shudder, it's much better, it's better. I got that movie for Shutter Island.
It's Shutter Isle.
It was not good. It kind of reminded me of The Grudge. It was one of those like 2000s horror movies that like they all kind of had that same vibe. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's just all kind of like Ring knockoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was
like curses more than like a horror thing.
Yeah,
like
we never hung out again after that. So.
But then you traded Shudder into Movie Stop and then got Shutter Island, and now we're here.
Here we are, 6 years later. It's weird to think that at that time, I think Netflix was still in its phase where it was literally, they would send you a DVD in the mail.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think how spoiled we've become to think that if you were chilling with your friend and you had to like know what movie you wanted to see like 2 days ahead of time.
Yeah, even probably longer too.
Yeah.
But I think they had like more options when it was DVDs.
Probably.
Because I think in streaming you have to have like different rights, but if it was just renting DVDs, like you could do whatever.
Yeah. Now that's a company that made a transition. Like we were talking about child stars and transitions and stuff and how difficult it is.
Yeah, Netflix glowed up.
Like they kind of jumped on. They saw a wave coming and they were the first ones on it. And they are obviously, I would say they're obviously the biggest streaming platform right now, right?
Yeah.
But to think that they went almost like, not a complete 180, but like to make that change.
Yeah.
As opposed to like taxi drivers that still can't figure out how to make an app to compete with Uber.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
No, I never got into Redbox. Were you a Redbox guy?
I think I went there like twice. I think I got a movie. I forgot what it was called.
I feel like by the time Redbox came out, I was already like downloading movies online and shit.
Yeah. Well, there's
so
still
I didn't
a
even
thing.
have a Netflix back then.
I think there's still a thing.
Redbox is still a thing, which kind of surprises me.
I almost feel bad for people that still use Redbox. I don't know why, but I just feel bad when I see somebody at Redbox and I'm like, don't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Anytime I go to the Rofo by my parents' house, it has a Redbox. And like I'll just randomly see someone in front of it. I'm like, are you actually using the Redbox or are you homeless? Are you gonna ask me for money? I can't tell. You're kind of looking through the movies right now,
Yeah.
but that could all be a ruse.
I mean, it was kind of like, I remember I enjoyed the experience of going to, like, I remember going to Blockbuster with my mother.
Yeah.
And like it was a bigger experience. You'd go there.
Just looking at all the covers.
Yeah. And that was
like,
all you
had. That
had.
was the coolest part.
Just the cover and like the 3-sentence description on the back.
Yeah.
And you would pick a movie in less time than it takes for me to sit down in front of Netflix and watch 17 different previews over the course of an hour and then never wind up picking or just watching something on YouTube.
Yeah. I will scroll through Netflix and just not watch anything all the time.
I don't know if it's me being cynical, but I feel like a lot of the stuff on Netflix is kind of trash. But also, I'm morally opposed. Not morally opposed, but just like for whatever reason, I can't bring myself to commit to a Netflix original series.
Yeah. I mean, other than like the big ones, like I don't know. I kind of dropped off watching Stranger Things, but that's the only thing I can think
Was
of.
that an
right
original?
now.
Was that a Netflix original?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some like I like
Tiger King was an original.
Tiger King was an original. I like that Disenchanted one. It's like the cartoon by it's like Futurama. It's like
Yeah.
by the Futurama people, but if it was in like medieval times.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. The most big one, the big one most recently, I think, was Queen's Gambit. Did you watch that at all?
No, but you watched that? You're a liar, dude.
I did watch that.
You always watch Netflix series.
I've watched every Netflix.
Yeah, what the fuck? You watched The Hauntings, you watched fucking Black Mirror, you watched fucking the one where you had to play like a video game.
Yeah, The Haunting of Hill House I did get into, but I almost feel like that doesn't count because I will watch anything spooky in October, you know?
Yeah,
if
and apparently
there-
it's every single Netflix series, regardless of how spooky it is.
Tiger King, that's what it is.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit.
It's spooky. Well, I always wind up watching them because whoever, like my brother will like pop something on and I'll watch it and it's like, oh, it's about chess. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I watch it, which spurred me into my chess spiral again. So now I've become a big chess guy.
Hell yeah.
You know, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was like I've watched the first 2 episodes of millions of Netflix series, but I don't know. Like I think I watched the first 2 episodes of Waco. Remember when Waco came out?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the one about the what's his name? But he had like that thing down in Texas. He was like a Christian cult or something.
Yeah.
And that's where I realized that I love the song "I Think I'm in Love" by Eddie Money.
Was
So I
that in the
get-
documentary?
Yeah, it was. I get something from all these things, and then I pop out. You know,
Yeah.
long enough to realize, oh, I did like chess. Let me stop watching this movie about chess,
chess.
and lose.
Oh, I like
online.
this song. I'm gonna turn off the show and just play this song on
Exactly.
repeat.
Exactly. But no, the Haunting of Hill Houses were good. This season was not quite as good
Oh,
as.
What's up with that?
Oh, hold on. What happened? Oh, wait. 1 second. I think the camera just stopped.
Oh, weird. Both of them? Check, check, check.
See if that works.
I wonder if it's because the batteries were low when we first turned them on.
Yeah. I think it did this kind of.
Oh, there we go.
It worked.
Yeah, we're up again. We rolling. And we back.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
We're
sir.
back.
We're
Sorry, our
back.
camera's tapped out. But the season of this season, I think I didn't like it quite as much because I noticed the main character. Did you watch it at all?
No.
The main character.
I don't watch Netflix originals.
Oh yeah. This begins my segment of my critique of every Netflix original that's ever come out. In this Netflix original, I watched the first season. It was really good, or you know, I enjoyed it. Everything was really good that year because I was living in my parents' basement, and I was like,
And it was
"Geez."
great.
It was awesome.
Everything was great that year.
But this year, it was like I realized that the main character, she always makes this face. I don't know how to describe it. It's like you guys can see in the camera. It's like I don't know. If you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And I couldn't believe. Yeah. Nobody made memes
Just like
about
quivering.
it.
Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a single meme about it. I almost thought it was like a conspiracy. I was like, "There's no fucking way."
No one is
There are no memes.
noticing this.
Like they made other memes about the Hill House, but they didn't make that one. And I was like, "Damn, can we get another incense cracking?" By the way.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about spooky-licious things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I watched that one all the way through. So that was classic, but not anymore. I just kind of wait for like comedy specials to come out and things like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been falling into this weird like FBI show kick just because like it all started off with watching like a bunch of Criminal Minds, and then that fell into I started watching The Blacklist, which is like a little deeper into like it's like less kind of real shit.
Yeah.
Like Criminal Minds is like mostly like domestic violence or kidnapping or whatever, sexual assault.
Yeah.
But then The Blacklist was like we're finding criminals that the government doesn't even know about.
They're real. It's
And
a
it'll-
real thing.
No, not.
Oh,
no.
damn.
It's like a fake show, but they'll go after a guy named like the Suit Maker, and
Nice.
like criminals will give him bodies, and then he'll like rent out a motel and get rid of them in a bathtub. And then each episode will have like a different like crazy bad guy that they have to go after.
That's
so
called
that's
The
kind of like
Blacklist.
interesting to me.
See, The thing,
And then I started watching Quantico once I caught up on Blacklist.
I think what happens is, and this is just me spitballing right now, but I think what you'll find is because last year there was a phase that Netflix went through after Black Mirror came out with that like choose your own destiny thing.
Yeah.
Which I will admit at the time I thought was the future of television.
Yeah. There is another one they put out. It was like a Bear Grylls like
Yes,
survival show.
It was called You versus
I watched
Wild.
that one. I played that one. It was so dumb. It was the dumbest shit I ever done.
And
It
I
was
did
like
play it
worse
all the
than
way
like a
through.
Newgrounds game, dude. It was crazy.
But like so I think what they do is they have a concept and then they just make a billion shows like it.
Yeah.
And then they see if it hits.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like early like VR stuff
Mm-hmm.
where it was like we got to find the killer app that's going to make everyone want to get this and start doing this.
Yeah.
And they kind of had it with the Black Mirror thing, but then they just like stumbled with other shit.
Well, I think what they found with the Black Mirror thing is people don't want to
Yeah,
do
people,
that.
Yeah, because also like most of the time, if I'm have Netflix on, I'd say like half the time I have it on, it's just on in the background,
Yeah.
just so I don't hear my own thoughts.
Yeah.
while I'm working or doing whatever.
Yeah. It's already an inconvenience enough when you stop every 2 hours to ask if I'm still
yeah,
watching.
Are you still watching? Yes. Don't fucking neg me about it. Yes, I'm wasting my life. $12.99 a month.
It's like now I got to choose every 10 minutes what's next. And I think
Yeah.
what the problem is, which they may have not foreseen, but I think when you have a show that has multiple different outcomes, it makes it difficult for people to talk about it. Because
Yeah.
if you didn't watch the same show as someone else, it's like, and then you got to go back and rewatch it again and like try
Yeah.
the other options. Like, I don't want to watch the same fucking thing 6 times
Yeah,
to
fuck
figure out all
that.
the options. So I'm glad that didn't work. And I'm glad that my future prophecy from last year didn't pan out, dude, because
Yeah.
I was really getting dystopian about that. I was like,
I
oh
know.
no.
Well, that was like a throwaway joke, and fucking the cameras went off again.
Yeah.
Maybe just turn them off for a little bit and let them charge,
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
and then but yeah, okay. So what I was about to say was so there was like a throwaway joke in like an old Futurama episode where it was like there was that movie star robot like Calculon or whatever, and he had some new movie out. So then like everyone at Planet Express was seeing the movie in the theater, and then like in everyone's armrest there was like a couple like 3 buttons, and they're like, if you want Calculon to take the ring and throw his wife off the boat, press green. If you want to do this, press red. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And I remember seeing them doing it as a joke, but being like, damn, that is the future. And now that it's finally here, I'm like, nah, this kind of sucks.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah.
The future sucks.
Future sucks.
Yeah, I guess the future now is just it's going to be streaming platforms. There's going to be like 3 of them, I guess.
Oh, there's going to be like 20, like in my head, the way things are going now, every platform or every show or channel, I feel like is going to try to make their own streaming platform, so then they can make the most money out of shit.
Yeah.
And then it's going to come back around to being a thing where, oh, look, Comcast offers a bundle where you get all 30 of these streaming platforms
Yes.
for $100 a month. And
Yep.
it's like, we're just back to square one again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, streaming originally was a way around just the cable industry, or just their version of how they put out their programming. Like, streaming is supposed to be a thing where it's like, all right, you can watch what you want when you want. Don't have to worry about shit. In this app, there's no ads. In this app, if you pay an extra $5, there's no ads. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point now where it's like, we got fucking Disney Plus, we got HBO Max, we got fucking Hulu, we got Netflix, we got fucking Amazon Prime, we got Crackle, we got fucking Crackle, dude. That's Sony's one.
Oh, that's
Jackie Chan Adventures is on Crackle.
There was an old
Toss that on. A few months
marketing
ago.
theory that the k sound makes people remember the name better, which is why Coca-Cola was so successful, and
Pepsi.
Pepsi and Netflix and McDonald's,
McDonald's.
Burger King,
Sonic.
Sonic, live from the studio.
Live from the studio.
That's why no one knows our podcast yet, dude.
Yeah.
We got to put some C's in there, dude. Some
You
K's.
gotta get this podcast Jewed up, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, but I as much as I'll say that, I don't know if Crackle's gonna take off. It's just kind of
It hasn't. It's
almost-
been out longer than most of the streaming things.
Disney kind of had like Disney was gonna pop off because
Yeah.
they're fucking Disney. They can do whatever
Well,
they
yeah,
want.
because it's like, all right, all these movies that you've always wanted to watch or whatever that we put them all in the vault, just waiting for this day that
Yeah.
we could release all this content. to
But
all
isn't
these-
it? Don't they have like a really small
morons.
catalog though? I hear.
I don't know. I don't have Disney Plus.
Okay.
But from what I know, it's like all the Marvel shit, all the Star Wars shit. Like both of those franchises could have had their own streaming platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like Marvel could have had their own streaming platform if they wanted to. But it's all under the Disney umbrella, so they'll just do that shit.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But it's like, Marvel, Star Wars, all the Disney movies, all the animated movies, all the Disney TV like Disney Channel movies.
What's on Crackle? Anything?
Jackie Chan Adventures. Maybe like Rush Hour 2. I don't know.
Just two, not one or three.
Not 1 or 3. They couldn't get the rights to that.
You got to get Disney Plus for one, Netflix for 3,
Exactly.
and 2 on Crackle.
And then Rush Hour 4 depends on if Jackie Chan or Tucker need that money.
That's going to Hulu.
Yeah, whoever brings them the most money. So who knows? Crackle?
Eh?
Come on back, Cole.
Come on, Crackle. We'll be exclusively streamed on Crackle. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah, Crackle. If you want exclusive streaming rights to our podcast, hit us up.
We want that $100 million Joe Rogan deal from Crackle.
Exactly. But we must be able to put 20-minute clips of each episode on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's in the deal.
That's good, because that's all I'm gonna edit any week anyway.
Exactly.
So as long as I can get that.
And also, it's only for a year.
Yeah.
You had to re-up next year, twice as much.
I'm gonna pop these cameras on. I feel like they're charged. Charged as Marge
Here,
right
let's
now.
let's just take a little second break. I'm gonna pee
Yeah,
real quick.
cool,
So you
cool.
can let them charge until I get back. Great. Just to give them as much time as possible.
Perfect.
I'll pee real quick.
Guys, before we turn on the cameras, just wanted to give a shout out to Monster Energy. Monster Energy, specifically Monster Energy Zero Ultra. This podcast is brought by them. I was actually planning on bringing this podcast to you by Diet Sunkissed Orange Soda, but Eric made the trip to the 7-Eleven and went for half of a medium coffee and Monster Energy. So this podcast is brought to you by half a medium 7-Eleven coffee and Monster Energy. Definitely one of the better tasting ones. I know Bang is like the most popular energy drink, but I feel like it's a toss-up between Monster or Red Bull for the best. Now, granted, Red Bull has the advantage of kind of being the first one to hit it real big, and nobody gets like a vodka Monster. Nobody goes to the bar and gets a bomb with Monster Energy. So they kind of have that disadvantage. But as far as stuff you can buy at a gas station, it's a toss-up. Now, it's unfortunate because Red Bull gives you wings, and Monster just makes you look white trash. So you kind of got to contend with that when you're drinking it. But other than that, yeah.
Monster Energy, folks. 3 for $5, only at 7-Eleven.
Was it 3 for $5?
Home of the put a coffee cup under the 1 cup, fill it up to the max, and then split it into 2 after you only pay for 1. Suckers at 7-Eleven.
Suckers. Meanwhile, at Rofo, you can get one for any size.
For free with the app.
For
right?
free with the app, yeah.
See, I don't
So-
the last time I had the Rofo app is when they did the tile game where
Yeah.
you could like earn points for sandwiches.
Yeah.
That was peak. That was peak Rofo app.
Speaking of Rofo, shouts out to the Ravens. They are playing right now. Did you know that?
No.
The
But shout out
Ravens
to Rofo for the peach seltzers, dude.
Oh,
Those
true.
are great.
Peach seltzers. Yeah, Rofo has some good generic brand stuff. Let's see. What are the Ravens doing? We're winning 14-10 with 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the half.
Okay.
Against the Dallas Cowboys, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. But yeah, I don't even feel like the season counts. It's hard for me. I feel like I would feel like it counts if we were doing better.
Yeah.
But since we're not doing better, I think I'm a Cleveland Browns fan now because the Cleveland Browns are 9-3.
Okay.
They perpetually have sucked for the past like 40 years. And also in 96, the Ravens were the old Browns. So basically what happened was Baltimore had the Colts up until the 70s.
Yeah.
Where Baltimore won like I think 2 Super Bowls or went to 2 Super Bowls, and we won a couple championships before they had Super Bowls where it was just championships. Then we lost the Colts in the middle of the night apparently. I wasn't there, but if you ask any old boomer in Baltimore, they'll tell you how like terrible that was. So we went like 20 years without having.
What do you mean in the middle of the night? That just like ditched?
Like there was no press that I'm aware of. It was literally just like one morning the headline was Colts pack up and move to Indianapolis. People just woke up and were like, we just don't have a team anymore. So you can imagine what people were thinking about that.
Yeah.
So we went like 20 years almost without having a team, which is why a lot of people went to the Steelers. Mm-hmm. And I guess the Redskins too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the Cleveland Browns took their entire team, moved them to Baltimore
overnight.
Didn't play the 90s.
But this time the fans did it. It's like in a camp movie when like someone wakes up on their bed in the middle of the lake. Yeah. A bunch of football players just woke up in a bus in Baltimore one day.
We literally like had their like Matt Stover came from the Browns.
Okay.
He just Jonathan Ogden was a Brown. And then they just came there, and they played for us. And then the Cleveland
They were
Browns,
like longtime Ravens too.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they played. The Browns didn't play for 2 seasons, and then they just came back as the Browns again.
Wait, what?
Cleveland was like, "Fuck, dude, we tried to get rid of this team.
Do this to us. You came back?
You're back."
They said, I figured you just leave. They said if you love it, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours forever. I didn't want you back. I wanted you gone.
I wanted you out of here, dude. But that's always been the thing that confuses me the most about Baltimore is we have this rivalry with Pittsburgh, the Steelers, which I've never personally understood. I've never been to Pittsburgh. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that about Baltimore, too, that aren't from here. A lot of people would be like,
I mean, from what I saw, I only saw it from, like, a fucking Greyhound bus stop. But, like, yeah, it was just, it kind of reminded me of Baltimore a little bit. It was just kind of like an old, like, fucking warehousey type of town.
Yeah.
Where there used to be a lot of like jobs. Like
Yes.
I know for Pittsburgh it was steel.
Yep.
That's where the Steelers come from. It's
Yeah.
not from people robbing
Stealing
people.
things, yeah.
Or stealing things.
Stealing our teams. That should be Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Steelers with an A.
Yeah. And it's just a robber as their mascot. And in fucking
bandit.
100 years, people are going to be like, that's terrible that you'd portray robbers to look like raccoons. Raccoons haven't done anything wrong. Like, what's the angle? Are you
They have to change their team name to the football team, too. Pretty soon, half the teams in the NFL are called the football team because we've declared every team name as the Chargers. The Chargers? Really? Really?
Well, you're just going to name the Baltimore team after the Raven? Edgar Allan Poe died in your town.
Yeah.
He died less than a mile away from the stadium.
He was an alcoholic.
And you're using him, yeah.
And you're fetishizing.
You're fetishizing
his
alcohol.
art.
Yeah.
That's a word I know from work.
San Diego Chargers, or no, the
Yeah.
LA
Now
Chargers.
it's the LA
I guess.
Chargers.
It's like, oh, what?
What?
You don't like charging your phone?
Yeah. Some people can't afford cell phones.
Some people, hey, the new iPhone didn't even come with a charger. You have to be more sensitive
Yeah.
to people.
I literally don't have a phone charger right now. I was thinking about that.
Damn.
I wanted to turn my Wi-Fi hotspot on, but I left my charger at the paint job. So
Oh, no.
I don't have a charger. So
Damn,
now
dude.
I am offended by the LA
Get
Chargers.
the fuck out of here, LA.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
But yeah, anyways, with Pittsburgh, it's like I feel like Pittsburgh is a very similar city to Baltimore. We both kind of like took a big blow with the leaving of the steel industry. I feel like there's a lot of like the suburbs of Pittsburgh are very similar to the suburbs of Baltimore. Like I feel like Baltimore has
Probably.
like the Dundalk. There's definitely so many Dundalks of Pittsburgh and like Essex and Towsons.
I guess so
I don't know this at all.
the good thing about Pennsylvania is they have more than one city.
Yeah.
Like they got Philly, dude.
Yeah.
You got to give it up for Philly.
Yeah.
Philly's a good city.
Philly's a great city. And
Philly, the last time I was there, it reminded me of like a cross between DC and New York.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
They say we're
cool.
sister cities, but I don't really know why that would be. You got to kind of feel for a city that's not even the best city in its own state, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, damn, Pittsburgh, you know, in any other state would be like top of the line, but they're just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know? But we have that rivalry with them. I don't know why. Meanwhile, I feel like the real rivalry should have always been with the Indianapolis Colts. When you talk about the Steelers, like the Steelers with an A, the Indianapolis Steelers, they literally have Johnny Unitas's number in their stadium. They
Yeah.
have our Super Bowls in their
up.
stadium, like our pennants. Like they took our whole shit. You
Damn.
know, like we didn't do that to the fucking Browns, dude. We
Yeah,
didn't take.
Jesus.
Well, they didn't
Well,
really
they
have
didn't
any
have
Super Bowl-
anything,
they didn't
yeah.
really have anything. But we would have probably not taken it. You know, we changed the name at least. We
Yeah,
changed
exactly.
the name.
We did
You
them
know,
that courtesy.
and we let them have their team back again after we took their whole team. We were
Yeah.
like, you can have the Browns if you want, and Cleveland was like, no, we don't. We don't want it. We were like, no, you can keep them.
Yeah.
You just got to get a whole new team.
You could be called, the Cleveland Indian Givers, but we're not going to make you do that. Washington's already causing enough ruckus
Because
with
you
the
already have the
Redskins.
Cleveland Indians as your baseball team, and we can't call you the Cleveland Indian Givers. Because then you're officially the most racist city. It's bad enough you have a team called the Browns.
No.
But yeah, there's always been that running joke where it's like, I'm taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, which is when you take a shit, you know? But like this year, that could actually be a thing, you know?
Yeah. Is that why it's called a Cleveland steamer? Because the
think
Cleveland
so.
Browns?
Yeah, I think so.
The
Nothing.
Cleveland Browns, a.k.a. putting saran wrap on someone's chest and then shitting on it.
At least you put saran wrap on it, you know?
Taking somebody to the Super Bowl. Taking a shit in it.
You gotta feel for a city that all their references are shit related. Like we have crabs, you
Yeah.
know. Boston has clams.
Clams. Clam chowder.
LA has phone chargers.
Yeah.
Cleveland has shit.
Cleveland is shit, dude.
Just shit. They're like the Dundalk of the United States.
Pretty much.
And that's unfortunate. But not this year, dude. I'm really pulling for them, dude. I feel like the Ravens are frauds this year. That was a word that I learned the other day.
Fraud.
Fraud.
I learned the word fraud the other day.
Not from the endless election coverage. I was like, what is this word that they keep saying?
Why
I
does my
need.
bank keep calling you about credit card fraud?
What does this
What
mean?
is that? I have a credit card. Hasn't worked for a while. I think they shut it off for some reason. It's this fraud guy I keep hearing
Fraud.
about.
Who the hell is some guy named Fraud bought a
I don't want his card. I have my own already.
Yeah, dude. Come on, dude. Call me like, what is this about? And they're like, okay, let me see if I can explain it to you in your terms. You know how the Ravens were supposed to be good, but they're not really that good? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what happened to my credit card. My credit card was supposed to work, but now it doesn't.
So yeah, is Lamar? He still has COVID. Is he still?
Lamar's
out?
playing right now.
Okay, he's playing right now.
COVID positive, playing.
So what do you think about? I feel like every year there's always talk about the Madden curse.
Yeah.
About whoever gets on the box usually has a bad season after that.
That, while I say this, just turn those cameras off. I'm going to let them charge a little bit longer while we go. I popped the logo on.
Okay.
I'll give you my thing about the Madden curse. My first question is, Lamar Jackson, he was on the most recent cover of Madden?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't really hurt, though. That's the only thing I'll say. He wasn't really hurt. He's not having as good of a season, but he wasn't really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really get. I mean, some people get hurt, but
Yeah.
it's more of like a curse in like,
Yeah.
your ego got a little big. Now you got to play bad.
I think that could be part of it. I think that the Ravens, just as a team,
Suck.
it's not that we suck. Everybody
Just that
keeps.
we're bad.
We're frauds.
We're frauds.
It's that we're frauds. That's the problem. It's that I think I said this a lot last year because I never really got on the bus last year in terms of like, oh, we're the best fucking team ever. Even though I do specifically remember being at Mother's Purple Patio.
I remember you saying that.
And literally being at Purple Patio when we beat the Patriots. And
This is the best team ever.
Verbatim yelled in Mehdi's face and said, "We are the best team ever." But other than that, I didn't really fall in for the hype. You know, I've
Other
always
than that, you're very humble.
yeah. I've always felt that we were a team that had an immense amount of talent with no real leadership. You know, we don't have a guy like Ray Lewis anymore. We don't have anybody on the team that I would say is like the cornerstone of that team. Mm-hmm. And I feel like every good championship team needs a guy like that. As far as like you look at like Patrick Mahomes, he's got just as much time in the NFL, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And last year, I would always get pissed off because at the time, Lamar Jackson was easily the highest performing quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And but I would always see Mahomes in commercials and shit, Allstate commercials, fucking Taco Bell commercials, any fucking commercial, he was in it. And I was like, why does everybody suck off Patrick Mahomes so much? Like, why don't we put Lamar Jackson in a commercial? Lamar Jackson actually wound up winning the MVP that year. Because after we won like 14 straight. But Mahomes won the Super Bowl. And when we were in the playoffs last year, we lost to the Titans. We had gone into that game winning literally 14 straight, and not just winning, dominating. Like we were averaging beating teams by like 28 points.
Yeah, we're going ham.
Yeah, and not just shitty teams, like good teams.
Yeah, but I think that was also due to just like Lamar kind of played different than most quarterbacks, and people just weren't used to that play style yet.
Exactly. So people saw that, you know, he came out of the gates and just people didn't really know how to stop him. But once they kind of figured him out, I don't feel like we ever got our mojo back. I feel like, you know, it's just and the problem that I have the most with it is that it seems to me that every time we play a consequential game, like a game that actually matters, we lose. Mm-hmm. And anytime we're down, pretty much we lose. You know, I compared us to much respect to Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson, but you know, there was a thing with him where he was so dominant as an athlete in boxing, and obviously he was an amazing skilled boxer as well. But he was so dominant that he didn't really even have like a real fight until like pretty far into like a couple years in. And when he was actually met his match, it was like he didn't even know how to like, you know, contemplate it. You know,
no one had lasted with him that long in the ring before. So then he was like, shit, I've tried everything and now I'm tired.
Yeah, 'cause I've never had to make it to round 2 before. What the hell is this? And so I think that that's what happened to the Ravens is we were just killing everybody. And then the second, I'll never forget, I showed up to Lock Bar because I was supposed to play a gig that night because bars love scheduling me the same night as the Ravens play. Which also we've done a podcast on the same night as the Ravens have played for the past 2 weeks, so maybe it's a thing. But I showed up and they were like, okay, we're not going to have you start until after the game. So I show up and we're just sitting at the bar watching. And as soon as we were down 2 touchdowns, it was like the first quarter, you could see, from what I could see on Lamar's face, that he was just bewildered. And there wasn't this look that he was like, we need to overcome this. It was this look of like, fuck. You know, it was like this look of just like complete astonishment. Where from that moment on, I was like, I just don't see how we're going to come back from this because the Ravens look absolutely dumbfounded that they're actually on the losing side of a game. Compare that to that same weekend when the Kansas City Chiefs were also down to the Texans by 24 points. And they came back and won, and then came back and won, and then went on to win the Super Bowl. And that was kind of the moment for me when I was like, that's what we need. We need like, you know... And
a good team.
We need a good team. And so this year, I just feel like the Ravens have kind of been exposed to more than just COVID. We've been exposed as a team. And
as being frauds.
As being frauds. So, you know, I mean, but again, this season, does it count? Can you really count a season where 4 of your starters could be out for testing positive for a virus that they're not even symptomatic of, that they just have it, but they're just not allowed to play? And then you're playing random games on like a Tuesday night a Wednesday afternoon last week. We played at 3:40 on a fucking Wednesday last week against the Steelers, the biggest rivalry in football. 3:40 p.m. on a Wednesday. People aren't even off of work yet, and it's like, how do you really count this as a season? You know, baseball played for like 60 games. They played like a third of a season. I don't even know who won the World Series.
Yeah, I don't even know either.
So it's like, you know, it's a good year to not be that good, but
yeah, I mean, it's definitely just kind of like a throwaway year for everything. And I think they just wanted to have at least something going on. So then at least for like, you know, all the teams, they can feel like they got their money's worth out of like signing these players.
yeah.
Because I'm sure there's no fucking quarantine or pandemic clause in the contracts where it's like, if we aren't playing this year, you know, because of a global pandemic, we get to suspend your contract until the season starts up again. So I think they just wanted to get their money's worth and be like, okay, we at least have some shit to show people. We can probably get some, whatever, those seat sales. Like, let everyone get your picture on a seat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they just wanted to figure out how to recoup some losses.
It's really kind of exposed, in my opinion, you know, especially now that we're kind of phasing back into lockdowns again. And I actually was Googling it and like, damn, yeah, our cases are like, I think we're like higher than we were before in like April or something like that in terms of like cases.
Yeah, there was like 1 million new cases
Yeah.
like in the past 3 days.
Yeah. But cases don't really bother. When I hear cases, I don't really care, but it's really the deaths that I look at, and we're like on par with where we were before. Now, granted, at this time around, in like April, it wasn't really seeded across the country yet. So like all those deaths were coming from a few places. Like New York City was contributing like 25% of the deaths for the whole country. And now it's like everywhere. So now when you see that amount of deaths, it's like the number on the graph looks the same, but it's like, okay, but now this is spread across like literally 50 states. You know what I mean? So it's not quite as like much of a thing. But now that we're moving back into lockdowns, it's really kind of exposed, at least to me, that if you have enough money behind your industry, the rules don't apply to you. You know, the NFL gets to play football. If you own a fucking, you know, bar or a movie theater, if you're a franchise owner of some type of thing in a small city, you don't get to do what you do. But if you're a movie director, you get to film movies still, you know? And it's like,
but I mean, I don't know. There's, you know, I feel like there are movie theaters open right now. Like
in Maryland,
yeah.
because we haven't gone back into the whole thing, but if you go to like California and stuff like that, they're like, I feel like they're locking down harder than they did before.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've heard, I don't know, but apparently like they're literally like they're enforcing the stay-at-home order to the point where like if you're out just like doing anything, you can be fined or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hear. Like if you're out like jogging or something
Who
like
are you
that.
hearing this from?
I just heard it in passing, dude. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like the lockdowns in California are pretty outlandish from my understanding. But yeah, it's just frustrating to see that the NFL is still allowed to do their thing, but you know, other people aren't allowed to do their things. And so, yeah, the NFL, obviously, you know, we sit there and we go, oh, those owners must be losing so much money because they can't have fans in the stand. But it's like they're still making money off their merch sales, their like broadcast revenues and things like that. Yeah. Whatever the hell else people make money off of in football, I don't know enough about it. But at least they're allowed to do shit, you know?
True.
Versus me, who is now a painter.
Were you getting those extra hours?
Yeah, I'm still allowed to paint at least. That's an essential business.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what are the trade-offs between delivery driver and painter? Because those seem to be like that was your first job over the last lockdown, and now going into this new one.
Yeah. Well, the delivery driver thing was much easier. It obviously takes a toll on your car. Like, I don't even think people realize how much of a toll it takes on the car.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was putting, like, hundreds of miles a day to the point where I was getting oil changes, like, once a month, every 5,000 miles. Like, it was crazy. And also, there's a very high risk of robbing. My brother almost got robbed the other day.
Yeah, I saw my brother was playing the Snapchats for me, I think.
Oh, yeah. So you know the story?
Yeah.
Yeah. But for anybody listening, basically he pulled up to a place, and we have what's called red zones. So we don't deliver to a certain amount of distance away after dark, particularly down in like high crime areas. So we don't go to certain areas after dark. Well, our manager, it was like a new guy, and he accidentally took a delivery, and they sent Dom down. And Dom was already like on his toes about it, I guess, because he was already like, "Fuck, I don't want to go down there this time of night." Because we have like, it's a common thing. I don't think people realize how common how robbing delivery drivers is. We get probably one driver a year robbed, which is a lot, when you think about it.
Yeah.
And so he goes down there. Luckily, Dom sucks at his job and was late to the delivery. And when he pulls up, there's already cop cars there because I guess they had called multiple different drivers.
Yeah. That's what he was saying. Like, because apparently someone else who he works with, like, got caught with the same thing.
Yeah.
Where they'll, like, call 3 different places to deliver and then basically hope that they all show up around the same time.
Yeah.
But if not, then it's like, all right, you got 1 out of 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't have to worry about that painting.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good. You don't have to really worry about getting robbed as a painter.
Yeah.
Almost got robbed by a painter once.
I'll try to take my ultra glossy home. I brought that from my house.
Yeah,
that was in the jobs.
I really thought this guy was going to rob me, but he had like paint on his clothes. And I was like, I don't think this guy's going to rob me. I gave him a ride home.
There you
He
go.
met me in the parking lot of Rofo. And he was like, hey, man. It was like 3 a.m. on a Sunday night. And it's just really like strung out looking like white guy with like paint all over his clothes and a beard. And he was like, think I can get a ride home? And I was like, I sized him up a little bit. And I was like, I saw the paint on his clothes. I was like, yeah, dude, I'll give you a ride
A
home.
brother in the cloth.
I offered him a chicken tender, and he didn't take it. But I do actually think he was going to rob me. But I think I was so nice to him, he decided not to.
Okay.
I think that, like, I don't know. I
He
can't
robbed you of a ride home.
Well, yeah, that too. He did.
That true?
He got that true. That's true.
That true?
Also, I feel like you know how they play classical music outside of Royal Farms,
And
and
that chilled him out a
That
little
chilled him
bit.
out a little bit. I think that really works. I think if they were playing some hype shit,
Calmed him down.
Yeah, you can't rob somebody to Mozart.
Yeah.
Can't
true.
do that, dude. You can't. So I think he was planning on robbing somebody. The Mozart's playing in the background. I offer him a cheese fry, and he's just like, you know what? Let me just take the ride home. That's like $1.50 in gas money, city traffic. So
That's probably like a $5 Uber.
well, yeah. So I guess overall, if I had to say, I definitely prefer delivery driving, but I just don't want to go back to that right now.
Yeah.
I'm in lockdown denial right now. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna have to do that again.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I don't want to be that guy who just pops in and out every month when I decide it's convenient for me.
Yeah.
But I will gladly be that guy if I have to.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird because, like, at least for the stuff I've been doing, it's like we're kind of turning a blind eye to some of the stuff. Like, been traveling and, I got to go to Atlanta later this week. We're going to be there for a couple days. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen. It seems like I think what we're seeing now, I think I said this last week, but it's just like the aftershocks of all the Thanksgiving travel and people doing like Blackout Wednesday and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By the way, you know what I just realized? The reason why... Hold up. Were those plugged in before? Did you plug those in before?
When?
The
cameras? No,
Yeah.
they're plugged in. Yeah.
Oh, they were? I didn't think they're... I think... Oh, because you set up the cameras. Okay, that was why.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then. I thought I had a huge, awesome revelation.
No.
Turns out no.
No, I think they were just kind of dead when I first turned them on, and like they never really got to charge. And then like for whatever reason, it can't just give a constant stream of like, all right, this power from the USB is going to completely just overrun the battery and just let the camera be on nonstop. I think that camera works by, all right, the battery needs to be working for it to be on, and you just can't charge it faster than it drains it.
Yeah, and that requires planning on my
Yeah.
part, which is just
Whatever.
a recipe for disaster.
I think what we could do is get, they have like fake, like dummy batteries that go to like an AC power cord. And I think that would just work.
Tight. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll look into that for Christmas. I'm popping up a big Christmas list this year.
Maybe
Looking
that'll be
forward.
my gift for you.
Ooh, nice. I saw a car. You know how they like kind of like redid the Towson Circle? Mm-hmm. They put like some stuff that like makes it even more confusing.
Yeah.
Like it's like nobody understands traffic circles for some reason. I don't understand why. But I guess it's not super common thing unless you live in an area with one. Like I go through it
guess.
every day, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like for a lot of people, they like come into a circle like, what the hell?
I mean, the ones that are confusing are like, there are traffic circles in DC where it's like, this is fucked up. There's like a 4-lane highway on a loop. Like, this fucking blows.
yeah, it's impossible. So it's
So the
decided
Towson one's super easy. And
used to be. Now they like put a bunch of shit, like they put like cement barriers in between the lanes, like
weird.
30 feet back. So now you pretty much have to know which way you're going, like before you even get to the circle. And I was thinking this is going to cause problems. And lo and behold, I'm driving to the studio today on the way up here, and there is a fucking car in, you know how like in the middle of the circle there's just like a grass and tree land? There's just a car like in the middle of it with cops all around the circle. I'm like,
How the
what?
fuck does it get up there?
I don't know.
Because there's not even like a ramp. Like,
I don't know. I was
so
thinking like
weird.
I had two theories, because the car wasn't even fucked up. Like at first I thought like maybe it was an accident and they like pulled off there so they're not blocking the circle.
is that
Car
like
was,
guerrilla art? What's the statement?
yeah, I was like, I don't get this.
Is this a Chevy giveaway or what's going on? Unsanctioned. They didn't
this-
have the right permits for it.
It's this nice white sports car, and there's these two college-age dudes like standing on either side talking to the cops. Car's completely fine, and my first working theory was like maybe they literally didn't know that there was a circle and just tried to go straight through.
Yeah.
And then once they went, I don't know how that happens.
I almost did that one time in like Hanover, Maryland. They
Yeah.
have this weird traffic circle, but luckily it's not like the Towson one. It's kind of just like a big speed bump that was a circle. So like they didn't have any signs leading up to it. I just kind of like went straight over the whole thing. I was like, what the fuck?
You went straight through.
straight through. I mean, luckily that's what I had to do directions wise, but like I think it was a thing where it was like new and it wasn't on the GPS yet.
Yeah.
So on my GPS, it just had it straight through. It was like an intersection. But then I was like, what the fuck? Boom, 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 boom. Like, okay.
Your GPS is like, go straight through the circle. You're like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'll follow the rules.
And that's something that I guess, people talk about the future of self-driving cars, but like, dude,
I mean, you need literally day of update. If
Yeah.
like a crew goes in and repaints a line and your fucking car doesn't know that shit, like you're fucked.
unreal, dude. So I guess that might have happened to them. That's one of the reasons I don't use GPS. That
Think they're-
specific reason.
Was it a Tesla? Were they on auto drive?
It could have been a Tesla. Dude, it could have been a Tesla. I'm not even fucking around. It could have been one because I couldn't tell what kind of model it was, but it didn't look like a normal car. I don't see a lot of Teslas around here. I know you see a lot in California. I'll
see a lot in DC.
Yeah, you'll see a lot in like, and
I
even
see
if,
some in Baltimore.
yeah, if you go to like the nicer parts, like Harbor East, like where people have money and hang out, I'll see a few down there. I've seen like one or two in Towson, but it's really not super common. So I'm not familiar enough with it at this point to just look at it and be like, oh, that's a Tesla. Like you can just look at a fucking like Toyota Camry and be like, that's a fucking Camry. But it wasn't a fucking Camry in the middle of the circle. It was a Tesla. They might have been on self-driving mode, which could be a major news story. Either that or, judging by the looks of them, I'm profiling them as two frat-looking dudes. What if they just were doing it as like a joke?
Let's hop the curb.
What if they were like, you won't go through the circle, and then they tried, and then they just fucking got stalled out on a tree, and we're like, ah,
Jesus.
Jesus. That would be cooler. I would
That'd be
respect
cooler.
that, actually. Trying to explain that to a cop.
Yeah. Officer, listen. I was dared.
Officer, he said, I won't.
He said double dog dare. You know, he was serious.
That is an actual legal defense. Double dog dare me. Yeah, so that was wild. I want to look into that, because if that winds up being a self-driving car malfunction, that could set society back like 10 years.
Potentially. Maybe don't look into it, dude.
Maybe they have to go back to doing Netflix shows that you pick your own destiny because they're like,
It's
this
too
is
deep of a rabbit hole, dude. You don't want to pull that string.
I don't want to give anybody any ideas of having us drive our own cars for the next 10 years. I don't want to do that to us.
I know we're big in Silicon Valley. I don't want anyone to get upset with Jimmy right now.
Yeah, dude. We'll immediately be fucking what's the word? Not doxed. Although I feel like I've doxed myself on this podcast countless times over.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
Yeah.
So you can't dox me.
I've
doxed the studio. I've doxed the apartment.
Yeah.
You can't dox me.
You can't get me.
But
You doxed Bones earlier, dude.
I did dox Bones. Dox. Nice K word there.
Are you thinking of like the shadow ban?
Yeah, they're gonna shadow ban us.
Yeah, they're gonna
that's been my
shadow ban
excuse
us.
for our streams for years now. though.
Exactly.
I've been
We were
telling.
shadow banned before it was cool.
Yeah, dude. We shadow banned ourselves. But on the bright side, I made my first legitimate Blue Chew sale.
Okay.
I'm not like a Blue Chew dealer. I didn't like fucking like meet somebody on a corner and like fucking toss them one. But I was sitting at Mahedy's. We were watching football all day, and we got to talking about like, you know, hooking up with girls and stuff. You know, later on in the day, 6 beers in, everybody's a fucking star at that point.
Yeah.
We're all just fucking regaling our tales, and one of them mentioned. I was surprised. They were both like super for banging a prostitute in Amsterdam.
Weird.
They were like, because I feel like most times when you have that conversation, people will be like, "Oh, dude, like if you went to Amsterdam, would you do it?" And I feel like most dudes are like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I remember being like, you know what? I guess I would take like a blowjob because that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It's just like that feels like a transaction to me, you know? But like as far as sex, I was like, that's a little too intimate, and like so much of the whole so much of the fun of sex is the chase of it, you know what I mean? And like you lose all that, you know?
Yeah.
How do you turn yourself on knowing you just paid a woman to have sex with you, you know?
Yeah, you just got like a fucking ticket from the box office.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean the box office.
The box office.
Know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Had to turn in that stub, son. But they were not hindered by that at all. They literally looked at me like I had 3 heads when I said I don't know if I would do it. They were like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You gotta get the full experience of Amsterdam." I was like, dude, I mean, I guess I get that that's like part of the experience of Amsterdam, but wouldn't it be like a cooler experience to like go
not
out
freak out about getting an STD.
Well, apparently they're super. I mean, as professional as you can be when you're doing that. I don't know. Everybody says like they're tested every time or something like that, and then you have to get tested, and it's like I don't want to do all that shit, dude. I don't want to get fucking STD tested. That's such a turnoff. How do you go from getting tested for AIDS and then 30 minutes later expected to bang somebody?
Yeah. Or also just like having to sit there while your STD test is coming back.
Yeah.
Being like, hopefully this woman wasn't trafficked here.
Exactly, dude. They didn't even bring that up. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Nobody in the room was woke enough to bring that up, but that was a very good point. We were all arguing for ourselves.
Yeah. Hopefully this isn't some sort of Taken situation where I'm
exactly.
banging Liam Neeson's strung out daughter by accident.
Dude, very
Get caught
true.
in the crossfire.
Very, very true. And that's something, you know, they were saying like there's like different like strips. There's like the really good strip, and there's like some strips where there's just like not quality, like just like ugly chicks. And I was like, that's gotta be traffic, dude. Like the unsanctioned prostitution in Amsterdam, that can't be good. So props to myself for being on the fence about it, at least.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you.
But so we were talking about that, and then, you know, just the conversation kind of evolved to me eventually saying, for sure I'd bang it. No.
You're like, well, if I had a Blue Chew.
Yeah. then we'd have to reconsider. But so we were talking about first dates, and I brought it up, and I did it like a very salesman pitch, but I didn't mean to do it that way. Like literally I was sitting there, and like as they were talking, I like found my wallet. and waited for like the guy to stop talking, and I was like, that's why I always bring one of these. But like I wasn't doing a bit. I was like, that was just how I thought was appropriate to introduce. So I pulled out my wallet and I like passed it around. I felt like I was like at a Tupperware party that like moms do. So we're in a room and they're all
chef party.
yeah, they're all looking at it like, dude, what is this? And I'm like, glad you asked. So
I'm just a humble Dick's pill salesman.
and so I'm explaining the whole shindig to them, and then we go through the whole thing, and they're like, one of the guys was like, yeah, dude, you sound like a fucking salesman right now. I was like, yeah, man, I actually have a promo code. It wasn't my promo code, but I was like, I have a promo code. And so I gave it to him. Next day, I wake up to a screenshot from one of the dudes, messaged me on Instagram and goes, I just got it, bro. Thank you so much. And he sent me like a screenshot of his order confirmed. He's like, I just got off the phone with the doctor or whatever. I was like, oh, sweet, dude. I was like, dude, you just changed your own life, bro. You don't even know it yet. You don't even know it yet. I got 0% commission for that.
Damn, send this to Blue Chew.
I actually am legitimately considering sending them something this week. Because I feel like, why the fuck not? I know
Send
I say
him a
that.
dick pic.
I want to send him that screenshot and be like, dude, I'm not even like, I don't even work for you when I'm pulling this off. Like, because the thing is that I found this to be true in many aspects of life, not just dick related. But people all have their own hidden insecurities that they don't want to admit to because they're embarrassed of it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's kind of like when you watch Billy Madison and Adam Sandler makes pissing your pants cool and everybody does it. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows what's going on when it comes to Blue Chew. Everybody knows that there's times you wish you had one. But nobody wants to be the first guy to say, yeah, dude, I have it.
That's why I always carry one of these on me. Blue Chew.
Yeah. Blue Chew. Nobody wants to be that guy, but once you do, you open up the gates, dude. Literally every conversation I've had, and it's been a lot, about Blue Chew. Every conversation I've had always starts the same way. I introduce the topic.
Yeah, I ease off of, would you bang a prostitute in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I wedge it in there. I just kind of bring them along. They don't even know what's happening.
I'm stringing so many suckers along.
Dude, I've been stringing this conversation along since I got here 6 hours ago, dude. Just slowly but surely bringing them down the rabbit hole. And then finally, I break it out, and every time, without fail, they both go, dude, I'm not going to take one of those. And then they all, does it make your boner last for like 12 hours? I'm like, no, it doesn't. And they're like, does you blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, man, that's for like old dudes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and then within...
You're like, dude, we are old.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, we're 28, bro. And then within 5 minutes, they're all like, oh, dude, how'd you get that? I'm going to get that. I fucking knew it, dude. I fucking knew it. I'm going to take a piss and see if we can turn these cameras off. On.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever... never had the want for a Blue Chew. And this is just me solo vamping here. Yeah, I don't know. I've always just been... What's up?
I said you're going to lose our Blue Chew sponsor.
Yeah, but, however, if they were to sponsor us, then maybe I would switch sides on that. Who knows? But currently, as a non-sponsored product, I have no ill will against Blue Chew. I hear they do great things. My friend loves their work. But I feel like I have a problem. I still feel like I get fucking middle school boners sometimes, just randomly, for no goddamn reason. And I don't want to have one of those be extra strength from the Blue Chew. That's my only qualm. That's my only concern. We going? Ooh, we're back.
We got the videos popping. If you're listening now, we just gained and then immediately lost a sponsorship from Blue Chew.
Don't send them that clip.
I guess I won't.
And I didn't say... Well, you can send them your part of it.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm making that clip. I'm editing it right now as we speak. Another highlight from that day. This was kind of just a weird highlight. But we got halal, first of all. Mehdi, you know, I have certain friends that just... I don't know what it is, but my friend Sean is like this too. And I love them dearly. I do. But they are very susceptible to getting trapped, and specifically trapped like in a tourist sense. You know what I mean? Like when I go traveling with Sean, he will always somehow lead us to the most obviously touristy place.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have a good sense of like, you know, when you go to a city, I feel like you're good about this too. I definitely feel like I'm good about this, and I feel like a couple of our other friends are good about this too. When you go to a city, you can kind of tell which ones are meant to make you think they're the spot you're supposed to want to go, but you kind of have an intuitive sense of like, no, I feel like that bar over there is where you want to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you kind of like, you either just like look at the, however they present themselves to be like, all right, this kind of looks like Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah.
Or it like looks too produced or whatever. But you can also tell by like, I mean, pre-COVID, you could tell by like the kind of people who were hanging outside of the place.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, okay, that kind of looks like me. I think I'll like this place.
But you can just tell when they're, yeah, exactly. You can tell when they're like trying too hard to be what you think they should be. Like if you go to like a beach town and there's some bar on the strip called like Tiki Beach Bar, something, and you're like, okay, so I guess if I went down to Key West, I would, as a tourist, I'd be like, oh, let's go to Tiki Beach Bar. That sounds like the place we should be going, you know?
Yeah, even though that's more of like a Hawaiian thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Who cares, dude? It's fucking Key West. That's what I'm talking about. Intuition, bro. You're sitting there like, this is the Atlantic.
Yeah, this is a franchise, obviously.
This is the franchise, yeah. But for you and me, we'd go down there and we'd look at Tiki Beach Bar. We'd be like, you'd be like, well, that's Hawaiian. And I'd be like, didn't think about that. I just thought it looked just not cool. And then there'll be like a place next to it called like Sam's. Yeah. And it's like, dude, Sam's is where it's at. I guarantee you.
Sailing bar.
Yeah, Sam's
like,
Sailing.
this
Yeah,
looks cool.
it's like they almost try to not be cool.
Yeah.
It's like they name it like something like fucking complete like carpet store. And you're like, oh, dude, this is the fucking place. I'm telling you.
Spot.
Carpet store. Sorry, you can't drink in here.
They're being real pushy. They haven't showed me the back room yet. They're
So I
really
get it,
testing
guy.
me out. Yeah. They think I'm a narc. They think I'm going to tell.
Oh, yeah, I can't drink in here. You're right. Fuck the look. Yeah, it's fucking tourists, right? Sir.
Take me to the bar, though. Wink, wink.
But Mehedi, he kind of gets a little trapped sometimes in that way. God bless his heart. And so we drive like 6 blocks. No, it's not 6 blocks. 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes to get to this halal place in like downtown area from Fed.
Yeah.
It's a street cart thing. And I swear to God, we passed 5 halal places on the way. But he had to hit this one. And we get there, and I'm thinking like, ooh, halal, that's my bread and butter. I love halal. Because I consider it Greek, even though it's not. But they use tzatziki, and that's our thing.
Yeah.
So
it's essentially Greek.
yeah, you're like, other than that, it's rice and lamb. Rice isn't really a Greek thing. Kind of is. Lamb is.
Lamb sure is.
You got lamb and tzatziki. That's Greek. Anything else is just what am I eating it on? You know. So we get it. We open it up, and these guys put so much fucking tzatziki on it. I couldn't even barely eat it. Like I was like, this is like like it was like eating, like, you know how like when you get pasta from a place and they put like the marinara, you know, this common thing.
Yeah, it's just soaked.
Yeah. They had that with tzatziki on the thing.
It's
so
like that tweet like a while ago where it was like, I asked for light mayo and I got a McCum sandwich. And it's like a McChicken with like overflowing with mayonnaise.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And McDonald's does that, but I know you don't like mayo.
Yeah, I don't like mayo.
I kind of fuck with mayo, and at least with that, you can if they put too much on, which they often do, I'll just kind of wipe it off, and then that's the perfect amount of mayo for me. But it was almost like they were pranking us. It was so much. It was like there's no way that any like able-minded human being would put this much tzatziki on. And we especially asked for hot sauce, and they gave us like 1 dot of it. I was like, this guy had to be fucking with us. He had to be fucking with us. There was no other logical explanation. So we go back, and I can barely even eat it. But you know, it's whatever. And I'm thinking, I just know that other halal place like that we passed, I looked at it and I was like, that place, I bet you is fucking
They wouldn't have done this.
dope. They would not have done this to me. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm still hungry because I couldn't eat all of it, and I thought I was going to throw up. And so I'm like, let's get Insomnia cookie delivered. And so we get 6 cookies, and then I ordered a pint of ice cream.
There you go.
And I love ice cream, dude.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
Ice cream.
Even though they charge like $12 for delivery and shit.
Yeah. And the guy shows up literally like 5 minutes later with just the cookies. And I was like, oh, you got the ice cream? He's like, oh, shit. No, first he said, yeah. Goes back to the car and goes, oh, man, I don't have it. Which I knew meant he knew he didn't have it the whole time because I did that all the time on deliveries.
Yeah.
When I would show up. Because you don't want to just admit you got to act like you're surprised that you forgot it. Even though immediately when they ask for it, you're like, oh, shit. And then you got to go, wait 1 second, run back to your car, do nothing, run back. Yeah, I don't have it. It's like, why did I just do that? So he comes back. He's like, I got to run back to the store real quick. What do you want extra? And I was like, oh, you don't have to do that, dude. He was like, what do you want? I was like, I guess a couple extra cookies or whatever. He was like, what kind? I was like, peanut butter. So they come back with the pint of ice cream and 2 freshly baked, big-ass peanut butter and chocolate cookies, which weren't even on the menu, which Mehdi was like, I hate peanut butter cookies. And I was like, dude, they're good. And then he was like, I'll eat a peanut butter chocolate cookie. And I was like, dude, I got chocolate cookies and peanut butter cookies. You just fucking eat them at the same time. It's fucking fine.
Yeah.
That guy instinctively knew to make us a cookie that wasn't even on the menu, come back with it. I get this thing of ice cream, and it was called Monster Cookie. And I'm like, this is probably like cookies and cream or something, or like chocolate chip cookie dough. Open it up. It's bright blue. Like, dude, I mean like bright blue. I had never seen an ice. It was like the color of that deodorant thing over there.
Jeez.
And I was like, what is going on here? And I ate it, and it was cookies and cream flavor. It was good. But you could taste.
It was just blue.
You could taste the blue. I don't know how to. It wasn't like blue raspberry. It wasn't like a flavor. It just tasted like they had some.
It was just whatever the extra thing outside of cookies and cream was.
Exactly. And then at that moment, I made the amazing connection that Cookie Monster cookie. It's supposed to be blue like the Cookie Monster. I was like, okay. So anyway, fast forward to the next day, I take a shit, and dude, I'm not really paying attention, and I wipe my ass, and like I always like my first wipe. I always
you gotta check.
I always check just
to see where how long this is
what
gonna be.
we're working with.
Yeah.
You know, just
what's the damage?
Just so when somebody texts me, I'll be like, it's either gonna be
wipes.
3 minutes or 10 minutes, dude. I'll let you know.
I might have to take a shit again by the time I finish.
I wipe my ass. I pull up the toilet paper. I take a look, and it doesn't register at first. And I'm about to throw it in the toilet, and then I do like a double take. I'm like, wait, what? And I pull it up, and it literally is bright blue. I've never had shit this color in my life.
Oh my
God. It was literally like I shat out like
a Smurf.
It was unfucking believable, dude.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh no.
It was like that color coming out.
That
too.
color, but it was like greenish. It was
Yeah.
So
because the brown mixed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh my God. And at first it didn't hit me like, oh, you ate.
Like, I haven't eaten a vegetable since before lockdown. What could this be?
And I'm thinking like, at first I had forgotten that I ate the ice cream from
Like,
Frosted.
oh God, do I have coronavirus?
Is this? How do
Is
I
this
even,
a new symptom that people are too embarrassed to talk about?
how do I type this into WebMD? My shit is bright blue.
My shit looks like a degree bottle.
So then I'm sitting there for like what seemed like forever. And it was really probably like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it hits me. Oh yeah, I ate that ice cream yesterday. So I stand up because now I'm like, okay, I feel safe now to look. Because I didn't want to look before. I was afraid. I was like, oh no, what if it's like tie-dye? I stand up and I look in the toilet, and it looked like I had shat out 4 green crayons. It's the best way I can describe it. 4 big jumbo green crayons. Not like the normal green shit where it's like, it was like.
It's messy. It looked like healthy shit, but that was like
too healthy.
in an Easter basket or some shit.
Dude, it was, first, well, the obvious thing, it was unbelievable. You know, I didn't believe it. But the main thing is,
Very hard to believe.
how many other people has this happened to?
Yeah, is there a comment section on Insomnia Cookie?
And B, do they know that? Is that like part of their thing?
Monster Cookie.
We're called insomnia because after you look at your shit, you are not gonna fucking sleep at night, dude. I want more people to let me know if that's happened, really. If you ever gotten Monster Cookie from Insomnia and you've had that experience, I want to know. Now, I ate a whole pint of it.
Yeah.
That was OD.
Yeah. You got a lot of the dye for sure.
And it was like the only thing I ate that night, too.
True.
I did have a Rofo chicken box at night, but I don't think that contributed to any greenness.
No. You got white meat, dude, probably.
Yeah, I got a 5-piece tender meal from the Towson Rofo, which I always say sucks, but this time was really good. The guy was super nice. I almost tipped him.
Hell yeah.
Almost.
Not good enough, though. I've been burned by them in the past.
Yeah, dude. I didn't get the right amount of honey mustard, and it kind of ruined my whole thing. You need a certain amount of honey mustard. Do you do honey mustard?
Yeah.
Chicken?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do the nacho cheese. But, yeah, I don't think that was it. I think it was definitely the ice cream.
Of course it was the ice cream.
If I had to trace it back.
And of course, it's just a guess.
I don't
We're
want to
still
dox
not
Insomnia
sure.
Cookie about this, but I feel like it was you guys.
Damn.
So-
Yeah, fans. Any of our fans that have shit blue before,
Please
please.
pop in the comments. I even got the cameras running just for this.
Just for this. Just to talk about my shit.
Yeah, but that was an event. That was an event.
Luckily, no scares like that for me this weekend. But, yeah, didn't fucking do much. I've just been fucking getting ready to travel again. I've been trying to, like, clean up my apartment because I remember the last time I came back from, like, Tennessee, my place was a fucking mess, and I was just tired, and I was like, this is bullshit. Why did I do this to myself? There's been so many times in my life where I just fuck myself, like my future self, over for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I was like, I couldn't have done the cleanup back then.
Yeah.
It's like
you just let it get to the point. Like, I'm in your same boat right now. Like, legitimately, this past 2 days, I've had this unnecessary level of stress because 2 months ago, I cleaned out my aquarium that I let go throughout the entirety of quarantine. My fish died, and I was like, why would I get fish? It's quarantine.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I was able to get fish. I don't know if you can get them delivered on Amazon. I would imagine not.
Maybe.
So I just didn't do it. And apparently, when you have fish in your tank, that's what keeps algae from growing. I don't know if
they
that,
eat it sometimes.
Yeah. But my tank became overrun with algae and like sludge, and it just looked disgusting. And so I let it get to the absolute worst possible state it could get, because that was the only thing that was going to compel me to do something about it. Just walk by it every day, and I stopped turning on the light because I was embarrassed of it.
Yeah.
And then I just took the tank and like moved it somewhere else because I was even more embarrassed of it. And then finally I was like, I gotta fucking do something about this.
Yeah.
So I spent like 3 hours cleaning it out, sifting all the rocks, getting all the algae off, doing everything, put like industrial grade ammonia in the tank and just scrubbed it down, almost fucking gave myself an aneurysm because that stuff is strong. And I got it looking pristine. And then I still never got fish. And so now it's 3 months later after that, and I look in the tank, and it's got fucking algae again.
Yeah.
So now I got to do it again. And then, 2 episodes ago we talked about laundry. I still haven't done that. And now I got to go grocery shopping. And I literally recall standing in my bathroom earlier today thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't. I was literally having like a moment.
A panic attack.
Literally having this moment of like, I don't know if I can handle
Doing my laundry.
like adult
going to the
responsibilities.
store.
I'm not made for it.
I know, dude.
It's like
that'll get me.
every time I do
I had
something,
that
there's
earlier
another
today.
thing.
Yeah. When I was getting into the shower earlier today, like, and I was in my bedroom and I was like taking my clothes off, about to go turn the water on and shit. And I just like took my clothes off into a pile of dirty clothes that was already there, and I was just like, "You're a loser, dude."
Oh no, dude. I just don't know, man. I really haven't had like a second of to do anything, really. I mean, I've been, like I said, I've been waking up at 6 every morning, going to paint until 3. And then my dad was supposed to drop me off at the house after at 3, and instead he brings me back to his house and is like, well, you gotta help me move this fridge and this stove. Damn, dude, both?
Damn, where are they going?
He's taking him to the dump. He got new, I guess he's like sponsored by Whirlpool now. I noticed that like every appliance in the kitchen is Whirlpool.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this is kind of tight. It was
Damn,
kind of
dude.
tight.
Hell yeah.
But I'm in there unscrewing all the things, and like, of course, my grandmother comes upstairs, and she's just, I mean, she's long gone. She asked me like 6 times, and she was like, oh, she'd be like, and whose son are you? I'm like, I'm Tony's son. She's like, my son, Tony? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, that makes you my grandson, huh? And I was like, yeah. And we had that conversation like multiple times. And so
While you're carrying a stove down your parents' back steps, your dad's just watching you.
dude, she did have a banger of a joke today, dude. She's still funny.
Nice.
And she'll just be like, I can't remember anything. I have dementia, don't I? And we're like, yeah. And then she'll go, my dad goes, how you feeling today, Mom? And she's like, same way I felt yesterday, Tone. And then he goes, oh yeah, how was that? She was like, that's what I want to know. I was like, dying laughing. I was like, that was funny. That was awesome, dude. I was literally like, damn, that was funny, dude. You have completely lost it. You can still crack a joke. That is
That's
awesome.
fucking sick.
It was great, dude. I was thinking about that all day. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was the funniest thing I heard all day.
Damn.
And but I forgot that on Saturday, my dad is working at this other place, and he was like, well, the women I'm working for, they're 2 older ladies, they're still spry and like, but they're in their 70s, and like they have this big cabinet in the basement that they want to move to the uppermost floor of the house. And my dad's like, yeah, Jim and Dom will do it. And then he tells us that we're doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, they're going to pay you, blah, blah, blah. Just go over there at like 10 in the morning on Saturday. So we go over there, and it's this humongous cabinet. And they live in this area of Taos, and it's like, I guess a lot of elderly people live
Dox
there.
them.
I'm doxxed. I'm doxxed. They deserve to be doxxed now after this experience. They were super nice, though. And we go there, and it's this humongous cabinet. And Dom and I are looking at it, and we're like, we're not professional movers.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have any of the equipment. We don't have straps. We don't have moving blankets. I looked at a couple blankets in my house before I left for their house. I was like, should I bring these? And I was like thinking, like, nah, it's probably gonna be like an easy job. They're 2 old
This
ladies.
is my only blanket.
Yeah. I'm gonna forget it.
I'm gonna lose it at the job site.
Yeah. I can't risk that. And so I'm thinking like, oh, it's just 2 old ladies. They probably just want a cabinet moved. We're just going to go there. We're going to knock it out in like 10 minutes and we'll be good. I show up there, and they have these 2 stairwells that are these very narrow turns. So it's like up, and then you make a turn, then you go up again, and that's the first floor. We had to bring up 2 of those.
Oof.
And so it takes us 15 minutes to even get it to the stairwell to try to maneuver it through all these corridors. We finally get to the stairwell. We're dragging it up the stairs. Dom's pushing, I'm pulling. We get to the top, and we're trying to rotate it. And as we're rotating it, this thing is just banging every fucking, like, there are so many scratches in their walls. It was unbelievable. Like, I was literally like,
Now your dad's like, you guys need your house painted? I know 2 guys.
I got a couple guys for you. So, but they're being super nice because they have known my dad for a long time. Like, your father's a painter. I'm not worried about that. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, thank God, because we literally destroyed their
Yeah.
walls.
Jesus.
And we're getting it up, and we get stuck in this corridor, and it's at that moment we realize we can't get it up there. There's no way to get it up. There's no way to get up. And so I ask her, and I'm like, hey, is there a reason why? I was like, when did the movers take this in? And she was like, 7 years ago. And she was like, it's a weird, because I had it marked to go upstairs, and they just left it in the basement. And I was like, did they do that with any other furniture? Did they put every other piece of furniture where it was supposed to go? And she was like, yeah, this was the only piece that they didn't put upstairs. And I'm thinking like, well, that's fucking why.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, the professional moving company looked at it and said, we're putting it in the fucking basement.
Yeah.
There's no way we're getting it up there. But then me and Dom, 2 non-movers, are expected to go there with no equipment and maneuver this fucking thing up there. So my dad calls halfway through, and immediately he's in fucking annoying mode, and he's like, how long you guys been there? I'm like, an hour? He's like, Jesus Christ, you've been there an hour? And I'm like, yeah, Dad, I've been here a fucking hour. He's like, well, what's the problem? I'm like, we can't, like, I explained the whole thing, and we're sitting there, and we're like, just dumbfounded. And I'm thinking, like, we already fucked up this woman's house.
Yeah.
And I don't want to come by. I know they're going to pay us, and I don't want to come by and have them basically what would have essentially been paid us to destroy their home.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to be...
Repairman, man.
That's a deep drive, dude. Hell yeah. Good fucking call.
Bringing it back to all that.
Hell yeah. And so I'm sitting there with Dom, and Dom is at a fucking loss, and I'm sitting there on the stairs. I hang up the phone on my dad, and everybody's just silent, and I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. So we take it back down the stairs, and Dom's like, dude, we're not going to be able to fucking do this, dude. What are you thinking? Because even after we do... So I'm like, we're going to take it out the back patio. We're going to walk it around the entire neighborhood to the front. We're going to come back, and it's in, like, the woods, and it's muddy and cold.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, Dom, we're fucking doing this, dude. I am not having this right now. We bring it back down the stairs. We get it out on the basement patio, take it down the steps, walk it around in the woods. It's like a big giant hill, muddy hill with rocks and tree limbs and shit.
Christ.
And I slip, and I'm like, Dom, set it down. And we set it down. We set it down on like a patch of rocks.
Yeah.
We lift it back up. We realized there was like a big scratch on the side of it.
Ooh.
And so we lift it back up, and we're like, dude, we're getting it there. So we pick it up, and we just fucking muscle it through. Boom, boom, boom. Bring it around the fucking block. Back around the other side, and we stand there. At this point, Dom and I are fucking dying laughing because we're just like, this is incredibly ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is incredibly ridiculous.
They're going above and beyond to just like at the end of it have their house ruined, the furniture ruined.
Literally everything. And we bring it in, and we bring it into the first floor of the house, and now we only have one stairwell to contend with. This stairwell is a little bit different because it's an open ceiling. So now there's a little bit more room. And Dom's sitting there like, dude, we're not going to get up there because that wasn't the problem before, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, let's just fucking give it a whirl. We already got this far. And I see the lady like dusting off the furniture, and I see her like bend down and like dust off the scratch and like look at it. And Dom and I just look at each other like, and she doesn't say anything. We're like, oh, sweet. Because I figured like we could just, it's been in our basement for 7 years.
They haven't looked at it for a while.
Could have been a raccoon, dude.
Yeah.
Could have been
very fresh scratch.
Oh, that wasn't us. Wasn't us.
You're just covered in mud from when you fell and scratched it. Nah, it's cool.
So
Don't worry, I gotta do laundry soon anyway.
So we get it up this stairwell, we make the turn, and now this is a moment of truth, and we're like, all right, blah, blah. We make the turn, and we push up the thing, and we dent up this wall, of course, as well. Chandelier is hitting the top of the cabinet,
my God.
wobbling all over the place. And you know these two ladies are down there just thinking like,
God damn it.
Jesus Christ, just give it up. I don't even want the cat. You already ruined the cabinet. I don't even want it upstairs anymore.
Jesus.
And so we get it up. We actually managed to get it up the stairs. And at this point, we're in the loft. And Dom and I just look at each other like, dude, we fucking did it. But now there's like the big boss level. And the big boss level is this second floor is on a loft. And the only way we can get the piece of furniture into the room is by rotating it and leaning it over the loft.
I hope that's a strong fucking railing, dude.
And try to pivot it in the direction of the door and then take it off the loft. So now this thing is hanging 4 feet over
Is someone underneath of it, hopefully?
I'm like leaning it on the loft and like supporting it with one hand. But this thing's like 300 pounds.
Christ.
And I'm scared for my life, but moral of the story, I remember in that moment thinking, wouldn't that be something if we wouldn't that be something if we dropped this fucking thing after destroying all their walls, destroying their furniture, and then throwing a cabinet
Down the flight of stairs. Down a loft. Jesus Christ.
We get it in there, and they paid us double.
Don't even come back to fix any of this.
But it was, I gotta say, man, it was the most accomplished I've felt about anything in a long time, because we did something that even the professional moving company couldn't do.
Yeah.
Now we
You
cracked a
guys
lot
had
of skulls on the way.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yes, but we did it, and I remember thinking they called up my dad, and my dad was like, "They're gone, they give up," and then they were like, "No, they did it," and he was like, "Get the hell out of here." And I was like, I knew that he hired us to do it because he
He thought you guys would fail.
He tried to smuff me, bro. Set me up for failure. That's
Oof,
yeah.
Smuff.
Smuff. That's an old high school term
Okay.
from the basketball team.
Set me up for failure. I like
Evan
that.
Evan Personality Jones used to say it a lot. You smuffing me, dog.
Smuffing.
Set me up for failure. My dad tried to smuff me.
Damn. He's trying to smuff you out.
Yeah, dude. But we did it, and that was now obviously I got to go back and like fix everything. But
Just take some extra toilet paper. You'll be good.
moral of the story, guys, is never give up. Even if you have to potentially make the situation worse than what it would have been if you just gave up.
Yeah.
Even if the people that originally didn't want you to give up are like, please give up, you're destroying my home and my furniture. Never give up.
Yeah. Don't listen to the people who hired you to do the task. Disregard their wishes and just do it.
It was no longer about them anymore. It was about me.
Yeah.
My personal
Issues with cabinets.
issues with my father. It was about proving my father wrong.
The Smuff.
The smuff.
The Smuff Selesky.
So we did it, and I feel proud of it. I also feel not proud that is one of my proudest moments. So it's a bittersweet combo there. But you know,
That's good though.
yeah,
There's I mean, especially for this year, there's not many moments like that where you can kind of like rise to the occasion.
yep.
Unless, of course, you're an essential worker.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would have classified that as essential. I think if Hogan would have heard about that, he would have flipped his
Yeah.
wig.
His
You
wig.
went into two elderly women's house.
Yeah. No one had the permits for demolition this day. Are you guys licensed?
When they asked
movers?
you to leave, you didn't.
Are you guys professional movers? A professional wouldn't have even tried to take that up the stairs. Let me see your
Only an
credentials.
amateur would have attempted this.
They do the rule of no more than like 2 people can live in a house unless they're related.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you're. Are you guys related to these older women? No? Okay, there's too many people here. We're going to have to give you a fine. You might get kicked off your lease, okay?
That would be a doozy if that happened too. Well, yeah, guys. That's been my week. A bunch of blue collar accomplishments.
And blue chewing.
And blue chew.
accomplishments.
Blue collar and blue chew. That's the
Whole
new
lot of
story
blue.
of Jimmy Selesky. I like it.
Blue shits, blue chew, blue collar. We'll see you guys next week. At Jimmy Selesky, at Eric Glazer, at LFTS Podcast.
On everything.
Peace.